game. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some more updates and news for the Chicago Bulls, as there have been a few things that have been going around for the Bulls. It's very interesting to talk about. Artūras has spoken openly now about the Chicago Bulls team and what its future could potentially be. We also saw, again, some updates on Patrick Williams. We reassigned another player as well for the Chicago Bulls. So there's a lot to get through, and let's get through it rather quickly. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the current Chicago Bulls situation as per usual, and also your thoughts on what Artūras comments, what he said, as well as the Bulls reacquiring another player, or I guess putting him up on the main roster again. Don't really know how to explain that one, and also your overall thoughts on the Chicago Bulls, even Patrick Williams as well. First things first, let's talk about the player that has been reassigned for the Chicago Bulls, Mac McClung. After one G League game, scored 19 points, I believe, 7 from 18 shooting, has now been reassigned to the Chicago Bulls main team. It looks like he will be available and ready to go against the Washington Wizards in Chicago. This is obviously a great sign to see, and again, many people consider him a very good talent, a very good player, and some people would prefer to see him over a player like Matt Thomas. Now again, I'm not going to agree or disagree with any of those situations. All I know for sure is that he has been called up pretty much for the Chicago Bulls, and considering only guard that we don't have at the moment is Alex Caruso, I do find it a bit strange to see him called up, which means that maybe he could get a chance over Matt Thomas in the upcoming game against the Washington Wizards. We won't know entirely for sure, but again, he did score his first 2 points for the Chicago Bulls. He ended up having a very decent short stint in that game, and obviously he's impressed in the G League, so he has got another opportunity coming for him on the main team. We'll see if he gets the minutes. We'll see how he goes, if he can capitalize on those minutes, but it's a very intriguing player and someone that I thought I should definitely bring to your guys' attention, and you can let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Very interesting player, to say the least. He has a lot of upside, in my opinion. Moving into another piece of news, ladies and gentlemen, there is higher optimism that Patrick Williams could potentially return at some point in this season. This is coming from Cody Westland, I believe. I believe that's how you say it, and I apologize if that is not how you say it. But very interesting comments there. Again, Patrick Williams is someone that I think many of us would love to see return. He's one of the guys that you want to have a little bit of chemistry building on with him and the rest of the team heading into a very big playoff stretch for the Chicago Bulls. Again, it's not something that I can definitely see as happening and 100% confirmed, but the optimism is there. Patrick Williams seems to be taking shots, which is good to see. In the end, his wrist could potentially be healing faster than the way that we anticipated it, which means that he does have a faster healing system compared to other players around the league. Also, the fact that we can get him a couple of, I guess, maybe weeks, maybe even a month earlier than the playoff picture will be huge for the Chicago Bulls. Because again, if we have plans to start him, if he comes off the bench, whatever we do with Patrick Williams, the chemistry needs to be there with this team. And Patrick Williams is probably the only man out here that doesn't have that chemistry that, of course, everybody else has just by playing with them over time. So he is the odd man out, and I would love to see him play, get a couple of games in him, a lot of minutes in him, so he can get that chemistry up with this team sooner than later, come the big time, the postseason. So I'm very happy about this news as well. Again, optimism is the only thing that's been going on at the moment for the Chicago Bulls. Not much negative comments, and of course, there's not much negative doubts about Patrick Williams at the moment. And again, there's also that there's not going to be any rush, which is a good thing. But yeah, that's very interesting in my opinion. And of course, I'm going to leave the best till last. Artūras Karnišovas has said a couple of things about the Chicago Bulls team at the moment. So let's get started on, I guess, the highlights and the praises that he's been giving to these players. Because he said, again, these are not the exact quotes, but he has said pretty much, going to narrow it down to a couple of the highlight things that he said. He's openly said that there have been a few players on this team that he didn't expect as much in the rotation that has definitely impressed him. And that's why he's very impressed, and he loves the Chicago Bulls team at the moment. So, of course, when that comes to mind, I think of players like Javonte Green. I think of players like Aidan. I think of players like Troy Brown Jr. I think of players like Tyler Cook. These players that didn't necessarily have the biggest opportunity to play a lot of games this season has stepped up in absences of other players. And now it's kind of very difficult to decide whether or not to drop some of these players or not. It's a very hard conversation to have. And of course, when you're thinking about players that weren't in the rotation or not expected to be in the rotation, stepping up and playing very well, those are the guys that I think of. Again, all due respect to those players, those are the guys that I think of. Troy Brown Jr., Javonte Green, Aidan, Tyler Cook, these types of guys that we didn't expect to see as much minutes from them has stepped up and performed very well for the Chicago Bulls. He talked and praised a lot about Lonzo Ball's defense. That's obviously an easy thing to do. He's a very good defender. He's playing an all-NBA defensive caliber player at the moment for Lonzo Ball. And he also said that what Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan are doing is truly unbelievable. And again, he also said that he signed on DeMar DeRozan for his playmaking ability just as much as his scoring ability. And again, that goes to show that he's having an incredible season, DeMar DeRozan. He is facilitating. He is scoring the ball as well. And in my opinion, he's having an MVP caliber season. So I love the idea that he had faith in DeMar DeRozan and he had faith in Zach and DeMar DeRozan working together, and that faith is being repaid on the court every single night for Artūras. So you love to see that faith repaid, and I think he's definitely seeing the benefits of signing DeMar DeRozan on this team. Again, very smart player, very smart person Artūras is. And then when he went to ask about the trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this was a radio station that he was talking to, I believe. He basically said that he currently loves the way the Chicago Bulls are built right now. He loves the pieces that are in place. He loves this group, and it's going to be very hard to trade some of those players. But again, he's open and willing to listen to offers for some players around the league as well. So pretty much the perfect answer for Artūras to say. Again, you can't openly say you're looking and you're active in the trade market when you know you have such a talented group here. It's going to be very hard to make some of those trades and make some of those trades worthwhile for the Chicago Bulls. So he's basically reiterated how much he loves this team and how much this team has formed together, and how basically this team has only been together for 3 months and we are beating some of the best teams in the competition that have had their teams for a lot longer than that. So he's talking about how much praise he's giving to these players and how much he loves this group, but he's also going to be open and listening to these types of deals that could be presented to him, because there are some deals you simply can't pass up on. As good as of a team as you are, if you are offered something you can't refuse, you have to take it. It's the way that I see it at the end of the day as well. So he's basically not ruling it out, but he's also, in my opinion, showing a lot of patience and saying that we're not going to rush into things just because a lot of people want to rush into things. We've had this team for 3 months. He's going to be very patient about the situation, it looks like, and I think that's the perfect way to go. I like the idea of being open to trades, but not exactly forcing any trades down the line. That's something that I think we should keep on going for, ladies and gentlemen. And Artūras pretty much had the perfect answer. And it's the answer that I definitely agree with. And I've always said I will trust this front office in any trade or any decision they've decided to do until they give me a reason not to. So far, they have not given me a reason not to trust them. So if that's a trade, if that's a buyout, if it's keeping the team the way that it is, then I'm all for what they decide to do. And that's why I'm very patient on the situation as well. And I'm not really looking or forcing any trades anytime soon. We'll wait and see down the deadline if there's anything that could potentially pop up for the Chicago Bulls that we simply can't turn down. That's what my eyes are on, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see what we can do. But that is a very interesting story, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the end of this video. To sum it up, Mac McClung reassigned for the Chicago Bulls. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Optimism on Patrick Williams' return, big thing for the Chicago Bulls here. And of course, Artūras' conversation, first time speaking up openly about the Chicago Bulls in this regular season. And he said a lot of right things, and I think many people obviously look at this and say, it's Artūras. He's a very smart, intelligent guy, and the right things were easily said, and it's not really hard to not say the right things on the Chicago Bulls team at the moment. He also said that this team in this city deserves a high caliber team like the Chicago Bulls currently have at the moment. The city deserves it. And it's not just the city, because again, worldwide, every Chicago Bulls fan across the world deserves it. But obviously he's referring to Chicago, and Chicago definitely does deserve it as well. So Again, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of days left until the Washington Wizards game. I'm starting to get a little bit, I guess, tired of waiting for the next game against the Washington Wizards. I know the break is going to be very helpful for us, but I'm really starting to miss these Chicago Bulls games. And again, it's one of those situations where you play so many games in so many days and you want this Bulls team to rest up because they deserve it. Then also when the rest comes, you just want to see the Bulls play. You can never win at times when in the NBA, but ladies and gentlemen, we will get there eventually. Take care and peace.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.